You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Bring it back.
Okay.
Let me just say this. I'm damn sure I own this beat. We're going to sell this shit back in 2057 to some new track.
Beat drop. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Fourcast, and it is a miracle. It is a miracle. Stop the press. You actually have all of us. Amazing. Well, welcome back. Tonight, reviewing America's team, the Gambler and His Cowboys, which is available right now on Netflix. It's the talk of the town, literally. Every station in Dallas right now is reviewing this, talking about the episode one at a time, doing it in a group, whatever it may be. So this is really a hot topic right now, and obviously going into the season. So, welcome back, Doc. How you doing, man?
I am fantastic, sir. Glad to be back. Missed you, gentlemen. I missed the beat more than I miss y'all, though. Mayhem, in your honor, sir. I had some about 6 bananas that were starting to blacken on the outside, so you know what time that is. You either toss them or you go back. So I made some chocolate chip banana nut bread yesterday, and the wife swears it needs to be commercialized, packaged, and sold. And I said, no, Wilkes lived too close to me to try to sell some food. So. Yeah, but it's been good. I've been, I've been around the world in 90 days. Yeah. What's the song? Been around the world in yeah.
Still can't find my baby. Well, you found your baby, so don't have to worry about that part.
Right on.
All right. So let's kind of Wilkes. How you doing, man? Have a good weekend.
I'm good. Doing all right. I'm wondering if I need to restart. This thing's a little laggy. I don't know what's happening.
It is a little bit. I don't know. You might want to.
On me. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe restart, and then when you come back.
I might need to restart. I seem a little laggy. It's probably this Apple update. You know how that goes.
Probably.
Well, no offense to you Apple fans. All right, man. I'll be back.
Okay. All right, A-Trap. How you doing, man?
Always good, man.
Good, man. Good to see you.
Always good, man.
All right, man. So, man, it's been a minute. But if you want to go ahead and give us the plots on this. Dog.
Yes, sir. From a trio of Super Bowl triumphs to a string of controversies, this documentary series relives the wild ride of the 90s Dallas Cowboys dynasty. Through never-before-seen footage and interviews, the series tells the definitive story of the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones' impact on NFL history. The Gambler and His Cowboys isn't a completely comprehensive look back at the team's history, but it does chronicle the Cowboys' most recent Super Bowl runs while also demonstrating why the team remains popular decades later.
Yeah, which is It's all facts. We're talking about it today. Obviously with the whole Micah contract situation and with this going on at the same time, Jerry's not stupid. Okay,
Yeah.
he may not be football smart, but he is not business dumb. He definitely know what he's doing.
Yeah, no question about it. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But if you doubt that statement that Ben just made, the fact that he wrote his college thesis on the impact and how he could change the NFL.
Yeah.
You don't need to know anything else. Say what you want about the man.
Right. Exactly. So let's give some initial thoughts. While you guys are talking, I'm gonna try to find a clip real quick. But give me your initial thoughts. I'm gonna go to A-Trap first, the non-Texan. Give me your thoughts on this.
I think this was excellent. Did a very good job. Shockingly, Jerry Jones told the honest to God truth. And even when he disagreed with what I perceive as the truth is, he still let that story be told, which is shocking coming from a billionaire. But again, he is a marketing genius, so I don't expect anything less. So yeah, I really enjoyed every single second of this documentary. I looked forward to watching it.
Yeah, and it's interesting from a perspective of someone like A-Traps who wasn't boots on the ground, here in Dallas while it was all unfolding. So I was at the height of my sports consciousness throughout this whole situation, right? Yeah. So for it to kick off in 1989, I was a senior in high school. Pretty close to the prime of my athletic ability. So football was everything. So I'll be interested to hear how people from the outside viewed it, number one, or who may not have been Cowboys fans or who may not have been in Dallas at the time. But for me, a lot of these stories, in fact, I looked like a genius myself when me and my wife was watching the first couple of episodes because I told her, okay, this is about to happen. This is about to happen. Or as soon as they mentioned something, I said, oh, that's the Cowboys Cafe. Or yeah, he got found with a plate of cocaine. 5 minutes later, they said, there's a plate of cocaine. She's like, how you know? I mean, I'm like, know every single detail, Yeah. Now, there were a few things in there that I didn't know, but this was a reminder of what I did know, like how much stuff has literally gone on. They just did the course of this documentary, but if you add, from 89 till today, how much stuff is going on, it's just mind-boggling. And I just can't see that there's any other franchise in any sport with that much, meat, that much, going on. That's not just your day-to-day operations,
Right. And for me, I'm one of those people that you mentioned. I grew up in California, so I was not a Cowboys fan at all. My dad strongly dislikes my fandom to this day because I pretty much switched to the dark side. I mean, I was a big 49ers fan. I moved here, and what really changed my mind, Doc, you remember this, we went to the Cowboys training camp.
Yeah, that's right.
We knew Roy Williams. He went to our church, Andre Gerard, Keith Davis. And I was like, man, these dudes are cool. They down to earth. And that kind of really changed my fandom. And I'm here. It's not like I can just put on a 49ers game or put on a Raiders game or whatever. So for me, I was looking forward to this. It was a lot of hype involved. You knew some people that were going to be interviewed, but you didn't know, there's going to be some other people that were also interviewed, like writers and people that were in the news and the media.
And just to piggyback off of your exposure, our personal exposure to the Cowboys organization and getting to see some behind the scenes stuff that not a lot of people got to see. So you mentioned Roy Williams, Keith Davis, Andre Gerard, Sam Hurd came to the church.
Wow.
Remember
that name? Yeah, I remember that.
And the running back that just got killed, that died a few years ago. Heat stroke. Marion Barber. You met him as well. And Dawkins did what Dawkins do. I scored on every last one of them. Every last one of them. I clowned the first time I introduced them. I mean, when we were introduced to them. So as Ben mentioned, we took a group of about It was at least 250 men. It may have been as many as 500, but at least 250 when they had training camp in San Antonio. And that's when Wade Phillips was the coach. Because you remember Wade Phillips came over and said something to us. We got to play games of football, flag football, basically. On the field, we actually had a tournament, basically, because remember we broke up into teams and had that tournament, and so that was fantastic. Roy rented out, or whatever you had to do. Morton Steakhouse was completely empty for us for that dinner. Remember, Hey,
that meal changed my life. That's the best steak I ever had.
Yeah, probably for me at the time too. And the fact that George W. Bush opened this documentary tells you all you need to know. He's telling you the significance of the Cowboys, even before
in football. And football in Texas.
That's right. Too. And he brought it large. From a global perspective, where Dallas, due to the assassination of Kennedy, turning from the city of hate to the city that houses America's team, so it's a global thing. There's no coincidence that the franchise is valued at anywhere between 10 billion and 12.4 billion, which is the highest value of any sport. More than the Dodgers, more than the Yankees, more than you name it. So but I think George W. Bush starting it tells you everything you need to know.
All right, Whoops, back initial thoughts.
Well, good, back.
And also you growing up here too.
What's that?
I said, what's your initial thoughts? And then also you grew up here during the heyday, the Cowboys heyday.
Oh man, I remember actually all that media press that happened, and the firing and the hiring and him purchasing a team. I was really excited to watch this because it was always Jerry and the Cowboys always were in the news for something. It didn't even have to be about sports. It was just about business, like what was going on, what was happening. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was done pretty well. I don't imagine Jerry will do another one like this because this was done pretty. I mean, it's almost like what else do you need to really get from it at that point?
Right.
Because it's mostly focused on Jerry and his Cowboys.
Right.
It's definitely one of those things that I enjoy pretty much. But man, I remember just Cowboys were everywhere. I remember him on 60 Minutes. I think I saw a doc on him on 60 Minutes. He was just talking about how the Cowboys weren't worth the paper they were written on, and how he came in and just kind of changed those things. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was done very well.
Yeah, he was basically trying to say he was the Captain Save-A-Ho of the Cowboys.
Yeah, pretty much. But just being a jerk, being typical Jerry, like you said,
Jerry.
His mouth running off at the mouth, but it was a big deal. It was huge.
Yeah.
You said you were a Cowboy fan growing up, Wilkes, or were not?
I guess I was. I don't know. They put me. Let's say this. My great grandfather, which I wish I still would have had these 2 Letterman jackets when they did Letterman jacket footballs for the NFL. I had a Houston Oilers jacket because he was from Houston by way of Louisiana, but then I had a Cowboys Letterman jacket, and it was just one of those things where they had me in those things. But it was like I told Ben, that's like, I think that's one thing that kind of bugs me about like what Jerry's doing now, because it's like, dude, you were killing it with the trades and the picks and the just making deals, and now I just feel like Jerry's just kind of sitting back and hey, whatever, my stadium's making money, Cowboys making money, whether it's a Super Bowl or not, So I don't know. I think those little things just kind of bug me, but I would love to see the Cowboys return to that hill and get that trophy.
Yeah,
because I grew up around that. That's like I know it's there, but they just, it's something in the works. It's something within the organization. Something's going on, but I'm not sure. But
yeah, and we've got a ton of clips tonight that we're going to get into and react. But also, we're reviewing the first 4 episodes. We're going to do the next 4 next week. But I got a question first, because Jerry has this, definitely in Dallas, probably outside of Dallas, probably bigger outside of Dallas. He has this persona that he runs everything, and whatever he says and does is all on him, and he's got all of the control. And to a certain degree he does, but when you're a son has taken over a lot of it that I think a lot of people on the outside don't necessarily see or understand, just because it's not you know, you're not listening to Dallas radio. But after watching the first 4 episodes, this is my first question right here. Do you feel any different about Jerry after watching these first 4 episodes? Doc, I'm gonna go to you first.
Absolutely not. I've always took an unpopular stance with Jerry and been in his corner. You know, it's almost like this. Okay, let me see if I can make this analogy. And H-Rap, you help me if I, start to fail on this, if you understand it and pick up on it. Being in the military during wartime, I didn't care who the president was. I was squarely behind him. I was loyal. That was our commander in chief. So from a military perspective, it was ride or die. It wasn't. It just what it was. Even if your general gave you wrong orders, if you disagreed with him, you carried him out in a certain way. That was our commander in chief. Right? So same thing with Jerry Jones. I'm a huge Cowboys fan. That was our commander in chief. And once you've delivered 3 Super Bowls, shit. So I've always been fond of him, but I have heard, because like you mentioned, there's been a lot of radio chatter. People, every major radio station in the region are reviewing this documentary as well, whether it be terrestrial radio, podcasts, or TV, they're reviewing it. And a lot of them are coming out saying, I think I'm kind of a Jerry Jones fan now. I always have been. I saw him for what he was. I saw the way he reacted when players got in trouble, like Michael Irvin, or, and how he handled it. Hell, Michael Irvin, there was a story that Michael Irvin didn't tell in this about the White House, which I think we'll get into the next week, where he went into Jerry's office and Jerry said, Mike, what the hell were you thinking? He goes, Jerry, I was trying to do the wrong thing the right way. That doesn't make this documentary, but that's what Mike told him, and he goes, all right, well, I got you. We're going to take care of you, So I've been a huge, and Jerry don't know how to say it right, but Dion's trying to tell you, Emmett's trying to tell you, Michael's trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you that, hey, it ain't what it looked like. This cat taking care of us even after football. Some of them have had 30-year relationship with him from a business standpoint after football. So for me, my opinion hadn't changed. Now I had to side eye his ass a little bit during the kneeling controversy with Kaepernick and stuff like that. But but like I said, if I got to pick one, I'm with him or against him. I got to be with him.
Yeah, and I'll say this, and I'm gonna come to you, A-Trap. I think the initial couple episodes in the backstory, me and Erica were both like, okay, this dude had a grind to get here. He wasn't just given billions. But then when you start to go further on, you're like, this dude is the problem. I mean, so there's he's a two-sided person, and everybody feels either one way or the other. But I think obviously with the Jimmy situation, which we'll get into, a lot of it is ego. But when you have this type of money, there's gonna be ego involved. A-Trap.
Well, I totally get where Doc was coming from, but Doc will understand where I'm coming from. I don't have it. First and foremost, I don't have an issue with Jerry. Period. Point blank. Period. Me and Doc come up in a world of sports with George Steinbrenner, and I'm personally a Davis fan.
Good comparison.
Davis.
Good comparison.
And Al Davis is Jerry's mentor.
That's right. 100%.
I don't have an issue with Jerry because when you're doing it first and foremost, he's a businessman. So I don't have a problem with him trying to make money. The only issue I have with Jerry Jones is Jerry. The only reason I personally feel as a big time sports fan, and again, Doc grew up in Texas. I grew up outside of Texas, I'm in Illinois. I've been in Illinois, but you either were a Pittsburgh Steelers fan when me and Doc were kids, or a Dallas Cowboy fan, or you could, if you just like football, you might like both.
Yeah.
But winning at that point, that's who you were rolling with. The only issue I have with Jerry is, like Al, like George, it's too much my way with him. The only reason I personally believe the Dallas Cowboys haven't won three or four more Super Bowls, or just to say 2 or 3 more Super Bowls, is because Jerry wants to make it seem he's still trying to make this point. It wasn't Jimmy. If he lets that go, just like it took George to get kicked out of baseball, just like it took Al to relent and let John Gruden take over, and then the Raiders came back, then he stepped in again and they fell off, and they've been off since. Jerry, unlike George and Al, will allow Steven to run the team. He just want to be the face, but he won't allow a coach to step in. Had he let the tuner do it, they'd have said it was the tuner. It wasn't Jerry. Jerry's issue is he wants to be the reason why, instead of just saying, look what I put together. So that's my only issue with Jerry. Because, like I said, dog, I remember Thomas Hollywood Henderson. I remember Ed Jones. I remember Bill Bates in the 80s and Jeff Coat in the 80s. Tony Dorsett in the 80s. Danny White. I have watched the Cowboys because when me and Doc grew up, you only watched football on 2 channels. You watched it on CBS and you watched it on NBC. By the time we became adults, Fox stepped in and you saw that in the documentary. But so you either that's how I became a Raider fan, because every Sunday you watch the Bears on CBS and you watch the Raiders on NBC. That was it. And then if they do a doubleheader, you'll see the Cowboys. So you had like one of them. You were forced to like the Cowboys, Steelers, Raiders.
Yeah. Just like when the Lakers and Celtics were going, you fell on one side of the street, either the Lakers or the Celtics.
Right.
And I was Lakers.
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with Jerry. I do not have an issue with Jerry because I run the team the same way, but I just sit my ass down like my man in Foxborough, and he'd had 7 himself.
Hey, you rarely hear from him unless he had a massage parlor, but that's the only time you really hear from him. But I think with Jerry, you are involved. You're the owner and you're the GM. Like you as soon as he came in, which we'll talk about this, I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. As soon as he came in, he said, I want this guy's job. On the day that he was introduced, he said, I want this guy's job. At that point, you are involved. Like you are the face. Just to say that you got credit in actually doing it. Yeah, he said the jocks and the socks standpoint. Like, but you are involved. Like it's not like
I gotta be honest. If I had that kind of money to buy an NFL team, I'm gonna be closer to Jerry than I am closer to name another owner. You know, what's the Home Depot guy in Atlanta? You know, you see him, Arthur Blank. Yeah. I'm a bit close, and doesn't that speak volumes? The fact that we're struggling. There are 32 NFL teams, and yet we named 3 or 4.
And that's it, because they're not around. They're not around. They put the people in place to now. If something comes down to it, I'm sure they'll talk to people, but they're not going to be the guy in front of the camera. And that's just like with the Rangers. Like they won the World Series. You rarely heard. I don't know. I think it's something Gary Davis or something like that. You rarely heard him talk because that, and probably it's a personality thing too. But Wilkes, go ahead. Has your opinion on Jerry changed?
No, I think honestly this documentary, the way I felt about Jerry, just kind of backed up what I thought and had always seen, because living here and seeing him in news and hearing about him and making these deals and draft day and stuff like that. No, I can get what's happening. It's one of those things where he's driven by this vision, this dream that he wants. He's driven by this. I'm in control of. This is always what I wanted. This is always what I wanted to do. And like his dad told him, you got to put it on and make it look like it's going to do something. You got to dress it up and make it look like it's going to go far. It's going to sell. People are going to want it. And that's pretty much what Jerry's done. It's like he's taken a team that he has dressed up, reconditioned, and repurposed pretty much, if you will. I mean, the cheerleaders show up on sitcoms or they got their own segment.
Dude, they got their own reality show now.
That's what I'm saying.
The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders changed the way the entire league pays their cheerleaders now. You know,
yeah, exactly.
They're actually getting paid some bread.
Yeah, and that George Steinbrenner reference, growing up, catching the World Series with the Yankees. People used to get on me. Oh, they just bought their championship. You don't think Jerry didn't?
That was the rules. They operated within the rules.
You don't think he didn't?
If you watch sports, you know spending money ain't no guarantee of shit.
Right, because it can go either way. We brought you in. And we didn't. Yeah, that's why. So no, I have no problems with Jerry. It's just that it's for me because I think I'm kind of like the equal opportunist fan. I'm a 49ers fan, but living here in Dallas, I know what the Cowboy fans remember. I know what they miss. I would love to see the Cowboys get back to that point because it's just like, this is what I remember from the Cowboys. I'd love to celebrate that. Just like with the Rangers. I was like, the Rangers hadn't been anywhere anytime soon, but I have a good friend that's a Rangers fan. We just went to a baseball game a few weeks ago, but I even texted him. I was like, hey, man, congratulations. Because that was awesome, you know, and it's just like just seeing that. Seeing that, you know, it's just like, hey, I was proud of that. I was like, man, he finally pulled it off. You know, so yeah, I want to see that for the Cowboy fans. I want to see that for the haters because, you know, as soon as y'all mess up, here come the haters, baby. They come. So
they ready. They got their phone like in the fourth quarter.
They ready.
They got their phone like this. As soon as it goes zero, they shooting off.
So and I'm the kind of person also too, just like with music, the history of things is what drives my passion. It's the history of things that build that foundation. It's like, this is what it was once. Now, what are you going to do with it going forward? And then it's like, man, if you can just get back to that or recreate that, I think I'm just driven by that. The history always drives that passion of knowing what was and then what can be. And it's just like, and I think that's why it's like, no, I'm not surprised by this documentary. Yeah. No, I'm not surprised by how Jerry operates.
Yeah. So let me get to a couple comments and then we're gonna play our first clip. CJ said, I ain't gonna lie, Jerry be looking like a slave owner sometimes when you watching the count. And honestly, you can say that about all the owners because they all white.
Hey, when Jerry comes
like there may be one Hispanic
Jacksonville Jaguars owner.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, when Jerry comes down to that sideline with that coat on, man, you know what time it is, man.
He said, laugh my ass off. Same Wilkes. This nigga been on some BS.
Yeah.
But like I said, I respect the hustle, but not the person. You got to give him credit. Yeah. I mean, and nobody, I don't care, the biggest Cowboys Jerry hater can say, this dude doesn't know marketing or business. Nobody can say that.
Right.
You know what, though? Before you go to the clip, I don't think Jerry does anything with the team besides stand on the sideline and with the media.
He don't at this point.
He even does everything. I think
he doesn't
everything. I think he's
now,
just
early on, especially during these moments, he did because he had no choice. He had nobody.
I don't think so.
Because his kids was like 20, 25.
He had them in there quick.
I think it was Jimmy, and then it's been Steven because when you listen to the things that are coming out, remember this dude wanted to draft Johnny Manziel.
Mm-hmm.
If you know football, you knew. Nah.
But see, that's that old Jerry. He wants that opera. He wants that soap opera. He wants that attention. He wants that risk.
But that's what I'm saying. I think I can outdraft Jerry, but he's just the dude. He got a big old checkbook, and it ain't like his son gonna start up and say, "No, Dad, it's Fred."
Yeah. Well, when he signed Deion Sanders, that was all Jerry. Steven didn't want to do that. Steven still want to talk about the numbers and stuff like that.
They call Steven the cap Nazi. Steven will wiggle around every time they ask him about, we free agency. We just can sign the players we have.
Isn't the reason why they got the NFL the cap because of Deion that deal? Because people were making it a big situation, and they were like,
the Deion.
Okay, they were like, okay, we got to. Okay, Jerry's going crazy down here. He throwing $35 million at a cornerback.
Signing Deion Sanders and giving somebody credit for signing Deion Sanders. If I sneeze and I wipe my face, y'all can't be like, man, H-Rap, you hygienic. No, I'm just not mad.
Yeah.
I mean, right. Went to the Falcons, had the whole world looking at the Falcons, and they made the playoffs and rose to appearing in the NFL. He go to the Niners. Steve Young had choked his behind off. That was a Balt championship. He won Defensive Player of the Year, and then he is the main reason you didn't come back because he had the cachet, the elbow, the playmaker in the chest, and the rest there. That's prime.
Got his arm in the way. I don't know. That's good. Oh,
yeah. So I can't get credit. That's like George Steinbrenner signed Reggie Jackson. Yeah, he helped the A's win 3 World Series. He killed it in Baltimore. I'm getting Reggie Jackson.
We're not. Well, you're not giving him credit because he's recognizing that this is like nobody else recognizes this is a generational talent. You're giving him credit because he wrote the check.
He's mastermind.
And how many? And like I haven't gotten.
And he wrote it. He wrote it for an historical amount. 30 other owners, 31 other owners. Didn't
How many other owners were trying to sign Deion? I'm sure there was a lot.
There was only one of them. The 49. He had already said, I'm going for this. I'm getting rings.
And you beat the team that he just won a ring with.
Right.
Well, there was no reason to think that San Francisco wasn't the one that was going to go win another ring. And in fact, Deion could have been the difference, But again, they'll get to it in parts 4 through 8 or 5 through 8 or whatever. Yeah. But his conversation with Deion will tell you.
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying. Deion said on Michael Irvin's show, "You the only reason I came to the Cowboys."
Yeah, he wasn't the only reason.
But
Michael wasn't writing the check.
Otherwise, I would have stayed.
No, that $35 million, he ain't turning that $35 million down.
And San Francisco, they interviewed their GM at the time, and he was like, "I wasn't doing that."
Yeah, they weren't willing to write that check, Jerry, and that's why I said this $35 million to this day is so significant. And that move, I'll never forget the conversation and what I remember him telling that story again about how Steven had jacked him up and like, "What you gonna do? You gonna hit me?"
Yeah, had his elbow up against the wall. He goes, "What, you gonna hit your daddy?"
I remember that. I remember that conversation, but fresh. I was like $35 million.
Hey, let's get to this.
No, see, that's where I disagree. See, think about this. Let me put it in this context, A-Trap. You know me as a giver, and I give. One of the things that irritates me to death is for people to think that because you have it, it's easier for you to give. Right. When there are millionaires and billionaires all over this planet that have it and aren't giving it. So just because I have money and I give it doesn't diminish the thought behind the giving. So just because he has it doesn't diminish the significance of spending it.
If he don't spend it in that moment, the 49ers win again. And then it looks like you fired Jimmy for nothing. Because think about this. If he don't spend that $35 million right now, and history continues the way it continues, the 49ers more than likely go back to back, and the Cowboys don't win another championship for 35 years. 30 years, well, it's been 32 years. And he has to say it was Jimmy. Because I just put it out there. 500 other people could win this championship. If I could put 500 other people here. And then let's not forget, y'all were down there. And I remember Barry Switzer going on TV and literally saying, "Sign Deion, Jerry." I remember that.
Yeah.
But I don't see why he don't. I don't think he don't get no credit for it. I think that's the crux of his entire existence. I think of his existence is the fact that he doesn't get credit for doing what he's done. Nobody else. There's a lot of people who wouldn't have been willing to do it. You have to give him credit.
And I will never forget that.
Here's why you got to give him credit, because he's done it when it's worked for him, and he's done it when it hasn't.
Right.
When he signed,
that's another thing. He's taking the blame for giving Dak $60 million a year. He's taking the blame for signing what's the linebacker's name too early. He's taking the blame for follow me?
Limp
That's
leg,
the problem. It's the problem. He gets all the blame when the signing doesn't go right and gets none of the credit when it goes well. It doesn't make any sense.
Let's look at the situation with Dak. If he had done the what's my man Bart Scott was on TV. Illinois sent it to me today. Bart Scott was on TV talking about it today. Let's just be honest. When you got rid of Tony Romo, you were supposed to extend Dak that day. Had he invested in Dak immediately, like a smart owner would,
it would have saved him millions of dollars. It would have saved Jerry millions of dollars. Everybody knows that.
If I'm getting rid of Tony Romo, I mean, if you have this football acumen that he claims to have, the moment Romo signs that CBS deal, you're supposed to told Dak, yo, here you go. You could have gave Dak at the time. Jason Goff was in Detroit, and Carson was in LA. I mean, in Philadelphia. They signed $25 million deals. He could, if he had the football acumen, and I said it at the time I was doing a sports show. I said he needs to be signing Dak right now. He took Dak from $300,000 a year to $15 million a year. Dak would have felt obligated to give him a discount and wouldn't have had to give him 60. That's why I'm saying can't give you all this credit. Look, you in regards to marketing, buying the Cowboys, promoting the league, taking the lead. Jerry, for all intents and purposes, Jerry Jones is the commissioner of the National Football League. I'm not taking his business acumen away from him. I'm not giving him credit for all this football stuff he's talking about.
But see, that's a difference between football acumen and credit.
I think
just because he signed somebody that doesn't make him a football guy.
Yeah, nobody's saying he's a football guy.
I'm not making that argument. I'm not making the argument that he's not a football guy, but he deserves the credit for signing Dion. He did it. He was the GM. He executed it. He gets the credit for it.
I still think he's the mastermind behind that. Because if he, like he said, if he's sitting there watching that game and he's seeing who's affecting that game, Jerry is going after the person that affected the game. The Yankees do it all the time. Yeah, if they got a pitcher that's owning their ass in the World Series, they finna go get that pitcher.
Yeah. Mike Usain was kicking the Yankees in their behind, and George said, "Go get Mike."
Absolutely, Manny Ramirez,
and he has the wherewithal and the authority to do it. You know, again,
not every owner would do that.
I'll never defend Jerry or claim that he has a football IQ of more than the average fan, but that does not mean that he doesn't get credit for the positive moves that he makes. In fact, I'm telling you right now, the reason why you signed Dak Prescott late, and he says it in this documentary later on. I don't know. No, he didn't say it. He said it in an interview with Stephen A., I believe, maybe even Michael Irvin as well, is that I didn't know that he's capable of winning a Super Bowl, so I don't know if I wanted to pay $60 million a year. And who would disagree with that?
Why would I keep you around if I'm not going to? I mean,
I disagree with that. That's a debate that would take us 10 times longer than this conversation about Jerry is whether Dak can win a Super Bowl or not.
And it's like, I'm not dropping that money if I ain't seen anything else after that. So I feel like, if I feel like he's doing it.
Yeah, the flip side of that is he's done it 3 years in a row. This is the third year, and we're now talking about Micah. I honestly think that he's willing to drag it out because he knows it's gonna be on the news every single day. And
he's making the money he's about to spend. In other words, he's making us pay for it.
This is old school Jerry. This is what he does. That's why I'm not surprised by seeing it.
Let's get to this clip. So this is
the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, for the record, is Will McClay.
Here we go.
Bam.
Hey, that opening with the music and everything that set the tone. They did an excellent job at that. Yeah, go ahead, Wilkes.
No, I was gonna say, they set that tone because, like he said, I already knew what I was going to do with this money before I even had it. I already knew what I was going to do with this money, whether I was going to buy the Chargers or I was going to buy the Cowboys. Somebody's getting this money because I'm going to come in and swoop up and get Jerry is, like I said, he's one of those guys where, yeah, he's possibly a visionary. He's got an idea. He's got things in place. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, there may be a time. I mean, just like when he hired Jimmy, you can feel that he really probably didn't know anything about the ins and outs of how an organization like that worked. So he needed that buddy system. He needed Jimmy to kind of like, hey, I'm kind of standing on you here to kind of guide us through this thing. And he's still like that to this day. Yeah,
it is to this day.
To this day. That's
to
why
this day, I'm not gonna play it. But
and that's why A-Trap was saying, like,
familiarity.
I don't think he was that involved with the day-to-day things. I mean, you got to put people around you. Absolutely. It's almost kind of like checks and balance.
Yeah, another story that didn't make the documentary that I remember was, Jimmy made a trade or, signed a free agent or something of that nature, and they got a lot of publicity. And Jerry told Jimmy, that's what I want. I want some of that. He goes, when I go make a business deal, he goes, I don't get that kind of reaction from the media. Mm-hmm. I want to be a part of that kind of reaction,
Exactly. He loves that reaction. He loves that interaction. That's his thing. And I don't think you're ever going to take that away from him. He just, like he said, from the beginning, it's a soap opera. He's all about soap operas and drama. He wants it.
As the Cowboys turn, they could have their own stories. He wants it. Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock. They could be on every day.
As long as he's in the limelight and the interviewers are sticking the microphone in his face or having him on the podcast, that's what Jerry wants. That's what he likes.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I didn't know that about the San Diego Chargers situation. Did any of y'all knew that?
Yeah, that he was he tried to buy them first.
Yeah. But he was backed by the mob.
The mafia.
Yeah. I
briefly fast forward, I don't know how that would have went.
And his dad had told him.
He was a gambler.
Yeah, his dad had told him, you don't want to get him in bed with them folks.
So. You don't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
There's one story that I'm shocked didn't make it. And that was, you saw it on the 30 for 30. They mentioned that the person who was bidding against Jerry Jones and with the Cowboys, they bidded more money, but Bum Bright and that crew said, hey, we'll sell it to you because you're going to fire Tom.
Wow. Perfect segue.
Yeah.
Perfect segue. Tom Landry, which I just knew him. I just knew him as the guy with the fedora. The dude was clean on the sideline. That was back in the day where he was wearing a full suit with a tie with some loafers. Like it was no sweats on the sideline. He was like a basketball coach on the field.
Ain't no air blowing around in that stadium. That stadium was hot.
So let's get into the Tom Landry conversation, which was interesting because I didn't know that backstory, which was part of they were losing. It wasn't as if they weren't like off of winning a couple more Super Bowls. They were losing. Like they said, he was starting to forget things. It started to kind of get stale. Yeah, was that true? I'm gonna lean on Doc and A-Trap on this one.
Yeah. When he let Jimmy go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he let Tom Landry.
Oh yeah, Tom. Yeah, he had lost 3 seasons in a row. So some in the organization wanted him gone, but like A-Trap said, they were scared to let him go because of the public backlash. Right. And Jerry was too stupid to understand what the public backlash would be at that time. Right. So he was ignorant to it, and he admitted that. And plus, like he said, this is Christmas Day. He was so hype about the fact that, it's like this. Somebody in your family passes away and leaves you a mansion. You're so happy that I got a new mansion. And people are like, man, he just died, dog. Your
mama just died.
But you're happy, so that's what it was. He's like, this Christmas. But they were like, you just fired a legend. Somebody who does not win that has not won a Super Bowl, but has a parade where over 100,000 people are there for him, basically, because he retired, But even Tom was believed to have some cognitive decline as well, forgetting players' names. When have you ever heard a head coach falling asleep in the damn meeting?
You're right.
It was his time to
He's
jab.
supposed to be leading me.
Yeah.
He had a
It's
little,
time to go.
he had a little Joe Biden.
Yeah,
I remember.
I remember when the Cowboy games were blacked out
That's
because
right.
they were doing so poorly, and it's like, okay, well, you're not bringing us no revenue on this. You couldn't watch Cowboy game.
Yeah, a couple of radio colleagues of ours talked about their dad and their uncle would go rent a hotel room in the next county over so they could see the game since it was blacked out in Texas.
They were blacked out here.
Yeah. And they had a Skip Bayless that snake Skip Bayless sighting where he was like, you're saying you're excited, but this is a funeral, for Dallas. Go ahead, A-Trap. I know you were gonna add on.
No, I just don't like Skip Bayless. I mean,
no, who does on here?
Nobody.
I think Skip Bayless
nobody.
And it's been a long time before the world was familiar with who he was that I was in the don't like Skip Bayless.
Is it true he wrote a book or an article saying Aikman was gay?
Gay. Yep.
Yep. Absolutely.
He didn't say he was gay. He
alluded to the fact. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Skip Bayless is a huckster. He's a grifter because it's hard. He became famous on ESPN defending Michael Jordan's legacy. But when he was here in Chicago, he used to destroy Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but he did that at the same time destroying LeBron.
Right.
You don't have to do that. You don't got to do both. You can just, if you want to prop up Jordan, just prop up Jordan.
The way he used to prop up Jordan and destroy LeBron, it was different here for the Chicago newspaper. He used to destroy Michael Jordan. So, like, if you know anything about Michael Jordan, he Petty Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
His biggest supporter,
King Petty. Go watch Last Dance.
He did not make an appearance on Last Dance. This dude had his number one adversary in the Last Dance and did not have Skip Bayless, who the world sees as his greatest supporter.
This dude, the seventh guy on the bench, was talking mess. I don't even know what that dude's name was. Jordan probably don't even know what that dude's name was.
Mm-hmm.
And he torched him. Dude played for the Bullets at that time. I mean, it didn't take anything for him to be petty. Hey, let's get to this next clip. Obviously, we know Tom Landry's out. Jimmy's coming in, and this is part of one of the clips on how that got. And he knew. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Nico Harrison. Come on. I didn't know it was going to be that bad when we traded Luka.
Jerry know.
You big dummy.
Jerry know what's up, man. You got Mia's, you got El Phoenix in the town. Come on, man. Chill out.
Mia's is still, I had to look it up. Mia's is still around.
They
probably bought that booth off just for that reason.
Probably rope it off. Probably got a picture in there.
Yeah.
I don't believe that either because you don't make as much money as that dude without knowing exactly where Tom Landry is. And then,
of course,
the next line in the documentary is he made Jimmy get out of town.
Right.
No, you knew exactly what she was doing. You knew they were gonna take that picture. You hurry up and got him out of town. So
look how great the picture turned out. That close,
right? And he was smiling. Like Jerry again.
Oh, they took your picture for the hell of it, Jerry.
Right. Jerry knows what the optics are. He knows what things look like, and he's been calling Michael Parsons because he's
Michael Parson.
Parson with no
taking the S out of him.
Parson.
Because he knows that whatever he says, whatever he does, I mean, newspapers aren't big, but it's gonna be on first page the next morning.
Look at the damn Jerry wipes when they cut to him and somebody was wiping his glasses. I was like, he gonna sell that because that's what Jerry does. That damn Jerry wipe for damn glasses.
You was here. You were of age to remember all that. What was the vibe like when Jimmy comes into town and it's the uproar?
I didn't know enough to be feeling it one way or the other, feeling excitement or doom. I was middle of the road. You had some people who were saying it's the biggest mistake ever. I'm never going to be a Cowboy fan again, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think you had anybody saying, you know, this is the best move ever. We're about to go win Super Bowls. You know, I don't think they were thinking that either. You know, I was just enjoying the change. You know, much in the way now to where when you bring on Schottenheimer, I've watched much more football and taken in much more Cowboy content this year than I did the last one. You know, just because there's a change, and so you're interested in seeing what's going to take place. You know, so I was consuming every bit of information. Another thing that started happening then, or was big then, was you had a morning sports show with Norm Hitzkus had a morning show, and then and he had this black barber, Leon Simon, who was on with him, giving our perspective basically, so I was taking in all the content I could. Randy Galloway, was doing some conversation. Dale Hansen was early in the industry, fresh face. I think he was with Fox at the time. Channel 4 at the time, he hadn't went over to Channel 8 yet, so sports was being born. In fact, in a lot of ways, the way sports is consumed and how much media is involved in the sports, the Cowboys have to do with, because the first all sports station, I know for sure in Texas, maybe in the country, the Ticket was launched the year the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl. So, and the rest is history. And they are 5-time Marconi Award winners, beating
Brett Sham,
beating even the likes of your number one hip hop stations, your number one R&B stations, your number one pop stations, your number one country stations. They're beating all of them. This is
that's not genre. By category. That's
by any genre. They are beating them. They're beating them on the numbers. The ratings, the books. They have consecutively beaten them for like 30 years in a row. So and again, I'd have to give the Cowboys a lot of credit for that, because that's what people started doing, is tuning in. That's the first debate was Barry Sanders versus Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Huge. That they talked about that forever. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? They talked about that forever. It
was the LeBron and Jordan right there.
LeBron and Jordan before.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best parts of this documentary, number one, was seeing all the hair. Like them blown out hairstyles, that throwback, and then they got a lot of
body and volume,
right? And then I started listening to the Ticket recently more often, and you see these clips of
You're Welcome,
Junior Miller and some of these guys. You're right. Yeah.
It's hard not to listen to them when you get introduced to them at the Super Bowl.
Right, exactly.
They ain't got a drink in one hand and a beignet in the other hand.
Right, exactly.
Bread, beans, and rice at the other hand, and this amazing backdrop of the water and the bridge and the high school band coming through. Shit, y'all must start listening to y'all, because y'all were there the day this happened.
Right. And I think one of the most interesting, and I love all the clips that they had, but when they're walking down the hall and Jerry's just grinning, and everybody in the room is like on pins and needles. They're like, what's about to happen? What is he about to say? Do we even like this guy? Like, everybody in the room got mixed emotions.
I'm a businessman, and
exactly. Yeah, no, it's a big deal. He's like, I didn't know how.
You got that same cadence. It's just a little bit slower and more confused. Now. You got that same cadence.
Yeah, man.
So, any thoughts on
this
that?
Joker? When he came in, he fired. He fired the GM, president of GM. He fired the head coach. He fired the PA announcer. He fired the parking attendants. He fired the trumpet player. He fired
the
shit. He fired everybody.
Yeah.
I wish he had that swagger clip. When he
that's the one thing that struck my wife. She like, did he have to let the trumpet player go? Shit, he didn't do nothing.
Yes. Money.
Yeah.
Playing off key. Yeah, get out.
All right. So let me play this next clip. This is the beginning of Jerry and him, trying to figure out what he's doing. He's on the phone. He's doing all types of stuff. So here we go. We'll come right back.
Jones was on the phone, taking charge as he promised he would do. Among the items on his agenda were an interview with a New York radio station and a phone conversation with Coach Jimmy Johnson. While Jones was taking care of business, his family was getting the royal treatment, a guided tour of the football complex.
Well, we've worked real hard today, and I guess it's, 6 o'clock, and we'll be here till probably 3 this morning, tonight, and we're basically working on the details of the acquisition and not spending any time back here footballing now.
Meanwhile, on the other side of Valley Ranch, Tom Landry sat in his office, sifting through the past.
When you try to clean them out.
Landry quietly emptied 29 years of his life into cardboard boxes. He says he's not bitter, change comes with a new owner, and that people will forget him soon. But there's no forgetting a legend. Landry compiled 20 straight winning seasons, 18 trips to the playoffs, and 2 Super Bowl crowns. But life goes on for the Cowboys. The team's mini camp for veterans and free agents is tomorrow. Doctors examined the new players this afternoon, and each player received at no cost jocks and socks, courtesy of Jerry Jones.
I intend to know have an understanding of the cleat situation. I intend to have an understanding of the player situation. I intend to have an understanding of jocks and socks.
Jones brings in a new era, a new philosophy, a new attitude. But will it rival the success of the old?
He said situation too many damn times.
Yeah.
The player situation.
After those early days, another thing that didn't make the documentary, he actually went and got trained on public speaking. You know, from a PR firm. Yeah, he got trained on that.
Yeah. So obviously you've seen Tom Landry cleaning out his locker, figuring out, you know, and he didn't coach again, right? He was done.
No, he went and opened that seafood restaurant, Landry's.
Sizzler.
No, Landry's.
It's
Seriously, you joking?
Yeah, no, it's real. They had one.
That ain't his restaurant though. That's just it just happened to be Landry.
Landry.
Yeah.
Landry's. They had one in the West End, but you know nobody knows what the West End is.
Yeah. So Jimmy comes on, and one of the things that stood out the most, and I make sure I heard this right because I had to ask Erica. Did he say when he got this job, he looked at his wife and said, "You know what? You've been married all these years, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you go because I'm not to coach this team."
I'm busy, man. Hey, Bill Belichick out here, man.
Yeah, Bill Belichick the same way.
Yeah, Bill Belichick, man.
Dedicated to.
They're like they knew this ain't gonna work because I'm not more in love with this than I am with you.
With you.
Yeah,
I'm out.
2 kids. Yeah.
Let me do you a favor. I'm gonna cut you loose.
2 and 2.
Hey, tell them kids I love them, man.
Yeah, I ain't never coming home. Shit, I'm sleeping at Valley Ranch.
Hey,
I got some film to watch. I'm not gonna come home to this weak ass meatloaf you making.
You ain't gonna see me to work with no chicken salad sandwiches.
I'm still waiting on the milk, man. Still waiting on the milk.
Yeah, he said he quit everything. Shit.
Yeah.
College church, and I ain't no deacon no more. Yeah, I ain't doing that shit. Yeah,
I'm doing this.
Don't look for me on Bible study. Don't look for me on singing night.
I ain't gonna be there.
PTA, I ain't coming.
I
ain't teaching no more vacation Bible study.
I'm not good to you.
Every kids, mine and everybody else.
I ain't driving the Sunshine Club van no more.
Vacation Bible school, I'm done.
I got some coaching to do.
Yeah. But one thing you could not deny throughout this whole thing was his passion, really for football, for this team in particular. There was like 2 press conferences. He almost looked like he was gonna break down.
Yeah,
but he's just like, I'm just gonna walk away. I ain't even gonna.
He said, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
And just walked out to the podium.
I thought he was about to say, damn. He really looked like he was going to quit. All right, let's get to this next one. The Cowboys training camp. There's an epic quote and line that you're going to hear in this, and then we'll talk about it.
How would you describe training?
Be quick in this because we got to get somewhere.
Michael had that.
Supposed to be about that work, man.
The asthma field is over there. You can go have some asthma over there.
Over there.
That was public knowledge and rated and debated day after day after day for several weeks. Also, the fact that Michael Irvin gave the list of players for Jimmy to say, "Hey, these was here during the Landry regime. They sucked then. They're not going to help us now. Going to get rid of that." Hey. That was common knowledge, you know.
In the words of the Rock, fuck off.
Regarding the military, you know, when you first came to basic training or boot camp, and like, you wasn't phased by the
5 foot 3 inch Wilma Jean Calloway was whooping my ass for 17 years by that time. You can't do shit to me this shit is funny.
Man was laughing at it. What is this? Get on my face. Yeah.
It's football, man. I mean, you practicing without pads. What are you doing?
And then the minute that you hit somebody, and they tear ACLs.
That's why so many injuries, man. Yeah. Ever since that rule has changed, the amount of season-ending injuries seems to be off the charts, man.
Mainly, it's the ACL. It's the ACL injuries. I mean, you gotta use your body to because when you go into playing a game, you're gonna be using your body. I mean, you're gonna be getting tackled, so you need to practice getting tackled.
Pay attention to this year. Football ain't gonna really start to week 6 every year.
Oh
yeah.
It's gonna be sloppy as hell first 6 weeks.
Oh yeah, trying to sort it out. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. That's why defenses. That's what like being a former defender, we don't respect what offenses do. Y'all just follow lines.
Yeah,
we're reacting, we adjusting on the fly.
And a couple of teams I've coached, one basketball and one football. We didn't practice any offense until the day before the game. Yeah. I said all of our offense is going to come off of defense.
Yeah.
You know, because we're going to make a turnover, or we're going to. I said, so I'm not. Offense is easy.
Stand him up, strip the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if they can't score, they can't beat you.
Right.
That's like I don't like only Michael Irvin is one of the few offensive players actually, especially wide receivers. I think wide receivers are the biggest chumps in town. So, oh man, you follow the line, man. You're not doing anything. Look, if it's a zone, you're gonna go in the middle. If it's man to man, you going to a sideline. Jerry Rice is the greatest football player. Boy, if you don't stop, I will lock Jerry Bowles up. Hey man.
Hey, he the best wide receiver though.
I mean,
gotta have hands, man. Can't catch with your shoulders.
Come on, man. Don't do that to Jerry.
Language, that's like saying I'm the toughest pussy.
Wow.
What did he say? I'm the toughest pussy.
That's what it said.
Wow.
I'm just saying. I mean, dude, I like
version?
Baker, I like Sterling, and a few others.
Sorry, that's from the Jerry Rice fan.
I mean, he the man. But being a wide receiver is.
Well, actually, he was taken down a notch when he had that Popeyes helmet on with that chicken.
No, if you heard his Hall of Fame speech, he was taken down.
Trash. That Hall of Fame, yeah, I was gonna say that Hall of Fame
sounds like a fifth grader wrote it. Check it out.
Because he's still from them back hills, dirt, kicking bricks with his hands.
Bunch of country ass dude.
Yeah, man, he's still bumpkin country, man.
No, Jerry Rice. And look, I don't want to get on Jerry Rice because people, the ratings will go up, but then people be hating me if I start talking about it. Right.
All right, so they mentioned the Herschel Walker trade, which was big. We got a clip on that, and then we'll come back and add some thoughts on it.
This team had ever even heard of these guys.
Who in the hell does he think he is?
The devil has come to Dallas in the form of Jerry Jones.
Ultimately, we were optimistic because we had an ace up our sleeve. Now, the thing...
Look up that draft. I think the world was mad at them for not getting Blair Thomas.
Let me see. All right, so first thing I'll say is, man, the NFL draft has come far.
Mm-hmm. Another Jerry Jones thing. He was the first to put cameras.
Yep, in the war room.
In the war room. To 2023, Ivan Dawkins and Al Hyde are actually taking 4 days off to go cover the draft in Kansas City.
Yeah,
and where we can't get in close to the stage because there are 100.
So obviously they made
Somebody
that draft.
needs some WD-40 in that chair.
So that was a 1990 draft. You look at the Hall of Famers in that draft: Emmett, John Randall, Shannon,
Minnesota Viking,
Cortez Kennedy, Junior Seau, rest in peace, and then Leroy Butler. Now, what was the name you mentioned?
Leroy Butler.
He got picked before Emmett.
Blair Thomas.
Penn State, Blair Thomas. I think he went to the Jets.
Yeah, he was actually the second pick.
yeah.
And then you go all the way down. Emmett was 17.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed out.
Yeah. So obviously getting Emmett was huge. They know what they needed, and then Norv Turner that was his kind of introduction in the documentary, and he was the architect really of the offense. Now he never really panned out as a head coach, but he did his job when it came to orchestrating, which was simple. You know, run when you need to run, pass when you need to pass.
They got good at about 13 plays, and they ran those over and over and over again. Yeah. But nobody could stop them.
I was gonna say, so you stop them, I'm gonna keep running.
Yeah. Once as a football coach, I ran the same play 9 times in a row.
Wow.
Power left 20, power right 24 blast. Had a fullback and a wingback leading up to the 3-hole, and I had a running back with my tailback following them. About 5 times in, the opposing coach called a timeout. I went to the huddle. My team said, "Coach, let's run something else." I said, "We ain't running nothing else until they stop it."
Yeah.
When they stop it, we'll run something else.
Right.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't realize was the Steve Berline Aikman.
That was big. Right in the middle of that.
Once again,
right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Once again, that's what those things I remember today with, like, what happens with Jerry in the quarterback situation. Because I remember Steve Berline coming in. I remember that Aikman, but it was one of those things where, first of all, Jerry got to the point where he fired coach in a heartbeat. Then it was quarterback controversy. Then it was just like, okay, well, Troy can't stay healthy now, but he upset because Berline looked like he's gonna take my position.
That was all Jimmy, because Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's
care about your feelings, punk.
Right.
Yeah. But Jimmy had told him, when he didn't play in the last game of that season, he told him, "I want you to be 100% healthy for the first playoff game." Yeah. First playoff game roll around, he still don't put him in.
Yeah.
They win that playoff game against the Chicago Bears. Second playoff game roll around, and he's like, "I'm still going with Steve Berline," and they get their ass whipped.
Right.
Yeah. And then he got in during garbage time, which is probably the worst.
Yeah, they lost.
For a quarterback, that's got to be the worst feeling.
Yeah.
Because he said,
the game was over, but you
didn't understand his passion for winning. Yeah.
I'm shocked that they didn't bring up the Steve Walsh thing.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't talk about it at all, did they?
They showed him in here, but that was it. You just saw the name on the field, but that was it.
Jimmy drafted Steve Walsh because he had a relationship with him at Miami, and that pissed Troy Aikman on. The fish tank story that they tell, where Jimmy went and put an aquarium in his bedroom. That was common knowledge back in the day.
Yeah, they talked about that on the ticket. That's what may help them bond, which is just an interesting thing. But you got to find that common ground.
Yeah, and it's generally going to be non-football that's going to make it.
Yeah. And then how many times have we seen? Hell, Romo and Dak. Dak comes in and he's on a winning streak, and you got to make that decision. Do you bring Romo back in, or do you let Dak ride it out? And it just depends on how it's going to work out.
And see, that's the one thing I started thinking about. It's like, man, if Dak gets hurt again, who's going to take it? What do you do then? You draft somebody, or do you have your second string come in? You try to ride with him. It's kind of like, I don't know how Dallas is going to handle that.
Yeah. A lot of people forget there were 2 injuries that year. Dak was the second. Romo was the second.
Oh, right. You're right.
The backup quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, Kellen Moore. You're right. Kellen Moore got there. So he was the third.
And guess what?
Actually, they had Jamil Showers. You remember that?
I remember Showers.
I think Jamil Showers actually was supposed to get
Showers was pretty decent, I thought.
Was supposed to get the run over Dak, but Dak ended up showing out in the preseason.
And that's how he got a starting job at Mississippi State too. The starter got hurt. He got elevated. Injuries got him into the position that he was in college and in the pro.
Now he's $1 million man.
Now he
hawking sleep numbers, yogurt, Nike,
everything.
Right.
Kroger.
Put me in, coach.
He got his own tequila too, or vodka, one or the other.
Stop.
All right, so they end up going to that playoff run. They end up losing, and so their next kind of play was we need to get tougher. So they come and get this guy right here. We're gonna play this clip, and we'll be right back.
Those first few games, bunch of guys, they come to me talking about, let me see your Super Bowl ring. I said, let's go win one. I knew the 49ers in and out, and Steve is the key. If we can get in his head, they're talking about me.
When Charles Haley sit down and he's talking, and my wife look at me and like, did he get some counseling or something?
Yeah, he did. He got on medication and stuff.
When he was on the 49ers and then he switched, and he was just one of them dudes you just couldn't stop. And John Randall was like that. You can say Reggie White was like that. It was just that dog.
Lawrence Taylor,
yeah.
Gotta have it.
Yeah. So he was the next piece that they were looking to to get, and obviously it benefited them. All right, so let's go to this next one. This is the we already know about How About Them Cowboys. We've seen that numerous times. But let's go to the Emmett, and then I got a question after that.
Value speaks for itself.
Right now, which is my first question, how similar is this to what's going on with Micah? And before y'all answer, Emmett was not under contract. Micah is under contract, so that's the difference. But also, they're waiting this out, and if it ends up going into the season, they end up going 0-4. Is Jerry going to be willing to open the pocketbook? So, Trap.
I don't think it's similar because, defenders don't play a major role in the game like a tailback did at that time. But it's just at the end of the day, these billionaires want millionaires to get them a discount. And I'm with Micah, I'm with Emmett. You can't win without me, so pay me. Yeah. F you, pay me.
And he said, "Oh, I don't have the money." But 2 weeks later, you mean you made all that money in 2 weeks?
Probably so, though.
Yeah.
Man, like you said, they selling jerseys every day. They get TV, and then they get their TV money. Now I don't know when they got it. Then you get a big check in the NFL in October.
Okay.
So and
might have been week 2, maybe.
Huh?
I said it might have been week 2.
Yeah.
Maybe. But Jerry's saying has been deadlines make deals.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows what the deadline was at week 2?
Yeah. I know you get a big check. So
yeah. Doc.
And remember, when Deion Sanders got signed, that's when he made that deal with Nike, Phil Knight. And a lot of people are basically accusing them of, that's who paid for Deion, because he didn't have the money till he made that deal, Now it's not really similar in the sense that, like you mentioned, the contract situation. Technically, he could force Micah to sit out for 3 years, because he can franchise him 2 years. Yep. He's got a year on his contract, and he can franchise him next year, franchise him the year after. And like Jerry said, he's not going to sit out 3 years. Right. So they'll get a deal done. It's just part of negotiation. That's one of the things that you see here. Even back then, they were negotiating with folks. And Emmett was one of them. So this is Jerry's MO. It'll get done. He always say, "Don't let your money get mad."
Yeah.
You know, somebody else maybe letting their money get mad, but he ain't. You know, he just playing the game. You know, you know, now he may want to. You know, he may get a Petty Murphy title. You know, in the sense that when an agent crosses him, you know, he's gonna let his dismay and disgruntledness for the agent get in the way of his relationship with his players. You know. But that's part of it. He don't have a lot of respect. David Mugulata, he doesn't have a lot of respect for this agent. Simple as that.
Yeah.
None.
You know.
What's his name?
David Mugulata, I think.
No, I'm saying that's what Jerry said. I don't even know what his name is.
Yeah.
Who are you?
And then he was on a podcast with Michael Irvin. He was like, you know, Michael, I want you to get you and Micah and me, and we can all sit in the room. We can work this out. It's too far past that though. You got that.
Not in Jerry eyes. He's the gambler. That's what I'm saying. This is what.
But and Micah's a different. I don't think he's dealt with a personality of this level as Micah. Now CD had a personality, but Micah's this might be the toughest negotiation he's ever gone through.
Well, that too, and
Dak was quiet about it though. He wasn't really like trying to. Micah said, if they don't want me, then that's fine. Let me go.
Now
Dak is the leader. He ain't gonna be pushing. Yeah. Whoops.
I sent my response to your cell phone, but it's one of those things where it's like it's just classic Jerry Jones. He gonna drag it out. He gonna make a big deal about it. They're gonna ask him questions. He's gonna say some crazy stuff. He's gonna go and allude into something else. I'm all in. I'm all in with the Dallas Cowboys. You already know how it's gonna go. This is what Jerry does. Jerry is all about the theatrics, the star of the situation, which is him in the Cowboys. Y'all brought me on here to have this conversation. This is what he does. You know, so yeah, no, I think it is the same situation because he's going to drag it out. He wants it. Now, did he expect for them to suck because Emmitt Smith wasn't there? No, probably not.
No, that kind of pushed it. So, yeah.
Pushed the envelope. So it's like, damn, I guess I do got to walk back what I said. You know, so yeah, this is what Jerry does.
So Micah's mom runs into Jerry. I guess it was at some event or something. I didn't have the audio up, but it sounded like they were hugging each other and
and Jerry said, "What are you doing, Michael? You act like you want some money or something." You should have played the audio.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it right now.
Now, Michael, why aren't you out there playing? You act like you want some money or something.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you know, he's joking with his mom. I pay that man. Yeah, he act like you want some money or something. Yeah.
Somebody in the background had a fake laugh. They're like,
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, get out of here. Yes, see you at the Residence Inn. Yeah, get out of here.
See you at the La Quinta. All right, so they end up getting Charles Haley. They end up getting Emmett back. End up going to the, the conference championship game. And how legendary was those 49er Cowboys in that era, man? I don't know. In that era, I don't know if I can say there was a bigger rivalry. Now, you can go maybe if you want to go 80s and you want to go further into today, but the 90s, it was 49ers Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. There's no denying that.
What the Cowboys 49ers was to the 90s, the Cowboys Steelers was to the 70s.
I was gonna say, there's no denying. No, the Cowboys and Steelers. Oh,
yeah. So
what didn't make this documentary is that because the Dallas was winning so much in the 70s, the owner at the time of the 49ers says we need to pattern ourselves like the Cowboys. That didn't make the documentary. But he said that. He's like, hey, we gotta catch up to what they're doing. We want to win like they win.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way of the league. This is a copycat league.
Yeah, you see what's working and you try to duplicate it.
Copycat league.
Yeah, and they had a Bill Romanowski sighting.
And I'm glad. I am glad that Charles Haley talk shit to Bill Romanowski because I could not stand Bill
Romanowski was so
That
even
dude-
I
could not stand it.
Hey, he was like a Pat Bev, man. The dude was just annoying.
Nah, I can't
yeah,
stand
even when he went to the Eagles, it was just like, dude, I had one of his cards, but I'm just like, he was annoying as a 49. Like, why do we have this dude?
And he reminded me of the dude off of the program that was on the. I remember the movie, The Program.
I remember the
dude was on
movie, but I don't
steroids.
remember the guy.
It
Yeah.
was a dude that was on steroids. He was ripped. He kind of, but he would cry if he get hit too hard. But yeah. But they ended up winning the first Super Bowl. You know, it was exciting. It was definitely what kind of took them to that next level. They worked really hard to get there.
Yeah.
And the Bills. Like, I know this is not what the documentary is about, but 4 straight Super Bowls, man. I don't know, like Jim Kelly, that whole team, Thurman Thomas, like them dude, was it Andre Reed?
Bruce Smith.
Like, what is the legacy of the Bills? If they never win a championship, what is the legacy of the Bills?
Wasn't there somebody named Steve Tasker or something like that?
Yeah. Didn't they have Flutie on the team at one point? Or was that?
I think he came in when Kelly was hurt. When he busted his knee.
Because I mean, now they got Josh Allen. He's one of the highest paying quarterbacks. But the only way you can get to the Super Bowl is if Mahomes is injured or dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why you ain't getting past Kansas City.
I was talking to a Yankees fan. I was talking to a Yankees fan at that Texas Rangers baseball game. And he's from upstate New York. And I was telling him, of course, I was like, what are y'all gonna do with Josh Allen, man? Y'all gonna get over the hump? Y'all gonna get past the Chiefs? I'm like, what's going on? It's like Josh Allen seems like he's on the threshold, but it's like something just happens there where it's just they got his number. So I don't know. He was like, I don't know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna lose more Super Bowls, I guess. So, hey.
Doc, what's the Bills' legacy?
4 straight Super Bowls, man. That's still a feat, man. That it may not ever be done again. You know, so you know
the Patriots couldn't even do that.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. So I don't think you can take anything away from them, but. You know, this is a title league, you know, so, you know, you judge by your titles, you know. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure how many Hall of Famers that have gotten inducted from those teams yet, you know. But
Jim Kelly.
But I think, you know, if you'd ask the Cowboys, if you'd ask the 49ers, you know, they'd all have an immense amount of respect for those guys, you know. Like, I know Emmett respects the hell out of Thurman Thomas, you know. You know, I know Troy respects the hell out of Jim Kelly. You know, they just, you know how it is, man. You know,
it's like, I think that they get like Marino. Marino's gonna always have that status. He just, you know, can get that.
And they're star players. So Bruce Smith, Thurman, Andre Reed. You know, the players that we mentioned was the one their Hall of Fame was Jim Kelly. But to go 4 straight years.
I mean, you know, even
though 4th year, and you still lose, but you know,
the Bills remind me of those teams the Cowboys had. They didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but with Romo and Dez Bryant, you know, and the talent they had there. There's a lot of talent, but just not enough to get you over the hump, you know.
And now they kind of it's a Jordan era right now. You got Mahomes in your conference, like. He got to go play baseball for you to end up trying to get to the Super Bowl. He got to be injured.
He's gonna be in the mix every year.
He's gonna be them 2 teams when it come down to it. Seems like every year.
And if Joe Burrow in Cincinnati can figure it out, he can stay healthy and they can figure it out. You got to deal with them.
Yeah. And then you also look at Troy's. Was that the first? I think it was the first Super Bowl. Troy with the concussion. Then he said, I don't even know what happened after that. And he was like, I was going to watch the tape, watch the game and see how I played. Which now today, the minute you even look like you got a concussion, you in the tent and they take your helmet away.
Yeah, so, I'm surprised Troy's is sharp. Troy's got to be doing some medical stuff that we don't know about.
Even when you look at his eyes, sometimes they're like bloodshot red.
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, but mentally, like when he speaks and stuff like that, I've not seen any sign of a cognitive decline at this point.
I mean, he's doing commentating every week on the primetime game. So
that's why they were saying like him and Steve Young, they had to stop. I was like, you can't hit again. You running around here with no helmet on, getting tossed out. I was like, bro, you and Troy, man, one more hit, it's done. Dunskies, man. Like,
yeah, and towards the end, Troy was, he was getting torn up even more, right?
Oh man, Troy getting destroyed at the end. Oh yeah, definitely at the end.
Shit, Troy used to smell on smelling salt like it was blueberry muffin. And it's supposed to, and anybody else who
your hair's supposed to go like
you're supposed to be like, God,
Troy can be right here in there.
Yeah.
And it is illegal to use that in the league now.
Yeah.
Illegal.
Troy.
And he had some in each pocket of his uniform. Shit. And
it's funny, they had some guys,
hand warmers.
They had some guys on the talk show smell the smelling salt, and one guy was like, the other guy was damn near about to cry. I mean, like,
yeah, man,
that stuff is
shit.
Yeah, and you got to break it. Then you have to break it, and then for the
that activates it.
All right, so last question, last thought of the night. Obviously, episode 4, win the second Super Bowl, and then they're at the NFL meetings, and Jerry tells Ed Werder, who's a long-time Cowboys.
Ed Werder, go ahead.
Werder. But he tell him, hey, don't leave yet. And he's like, why? It's like the night's over with. And he says, well, I'm about to fire that traitor. Jimmy Johnson. And so that's where the next episode is going to go into that. But what could have happened? Let's play hypothetical here. What could have happened if they were able to work it out? How many Super Bowls could they have won? Would it have ever worked? I'm gonna go to Wilkes first.
Well, Jerry kind of mentioned it. Jimmy was kind of rising through the ranks, and they were putting the spotlight more on Jimmy. But I think the Cowboys could have won more because, like I mentioned to you, that was a time where you kept Super Bowl winning teams together. You kept the core. You may have shifted and moved people around, but not as much as they do today. It's almost like you win a championship today, and you're like, oh, wow, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But back then, I think Cowboys could have won plenty more. Now, if it's going to be 10 in a row, maybe not. But
they probably would have been like a Patriots level.
Yeah, you're going to get
health-wise. Right. If everybody was healthy, they probably would have went on one of them crazy type runs.
Cowboys definitely getting some more Super Bowls.
Yeah. Also, one thing we didn't mention was Jacksonville became a new expansion team. And there was some ties between him and Jimmy, and Jerry was like, "Oh, so do you going over here with the other girl?" So that was even more tension, even more, more his loyalty. He was concerned that his loyalty was
like they do today. I mean, somebody wants to interview. Yeah, it happens all the time. But Jerry is like, again, in his mind, it's like, "Oh, you breaking up what I'm trying to be dominant out here. You trying to break it off or something like that." But I think the Cowboys definitely would have been in the mix. I can't say that for the 49ers because, like I said, it was a time where you didn't keep people together. You were just sending people off and trading people. But I felt like Dallas was definitely like, hey, we got this formula. We're going to try to hold this thing together as much as possible. And that was one thing that always kind of resonated with me. And, I think it's always going to be the what if Jimmy stayed. Right. Now, I do want to ask this real quick. I know that probably the Jimmy today ain't the same. Would you take Jimmy back today? If Jimmy decided to come back, would you take Jimmy now?
Nah.
Yes.
Nah. Jimmy probably is. He just retired from doing Fox.
He ain't gonna be the same Jimmy.
So I would maybe have him as an advisor or a consultant or something, but I'm not hiring him.
It's funny you say that. Now, Troy Aikman, rumor has it, they were trying to bring him in as almost like they did the guy up in the Bronco. I can't think of his name now. But
John Elway.
John Elway.
Yeah, there was some stuff about him being a GM.
Yeah. Would you guys take that? Would that seem like something you would if you had Aikman coming in as some kind of advisor or president of operations or something?
I would do
any role.
Yeah. Because when he talked about his passion, and Jimmy didn't really understand it. He's on the radio today. When the season starts and he does his weekly thing on the ticket, he calls them out. He does it on TV. So you need that person in the room. Yeah. Honestly, I don't really know is that person even in the organization right now? They can be brutally honest.
I don't think so.
So you need honestly you need that.
And if anything, I think they're on the outside. Like you said, he's got Michael, he got Dion, he's got Emmett, he's got Troy. But yeah, and of course Jimmy, if they kind of work out what they got going on, but yeah, not within. That's why when they killed me, they were like, "Oh, Bill Cowher may come back from the CBO," but this was when Bill Cowher had just stepped away from the game. Yeah. I'm like, "There's no way he's gonna let Bill Cowher in there. Bill Cowher gonna want to run it."
I thought he was gonna come back at some point, but no, he never did. All right, A-Trap.
What final thoughts?
Well,
I bring Jimmy got he a psych major, and that's what it's about, man. It's about, and then he's a coach. Man, coaches are created by God. They're not developed. Because you got to be able to relate. And he knew how to relate to Troy. He knew how to relate to Michael. He knew how to relate to Emmett. And you notice one thing, you didn't hear one bad word about Jimmy from Charles. The crazy dude didn't have a bad word to say about. So he knows how to relate. And to be a talented
the best are able to do that.
Yeah, the tuner. Parcells can coach. Like people think because it ain't physical, I can't do it. Nah, I know what this game look like. I know how to line these dudes up. I know how to line those dudes up, and I know how to motivate all 22 of them. Right. Yeah, Andy Reid.
Prime example.
Andy Reid just needed the right. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl with the Eagles, but he just needed the right spot, to really take it to that next level.
He needed a running back. That's what he needed. When he started running the damn ball, he started winning Super Bowl. Andy, run the ball. Okay. Wilkes the 49er fan. Wilkes, did win that Super Bowl, that first Super Bowl, or did Williams win that first Super Bowl?
Nah, it was Williams. You got to feed the rock, baby. You got to. That's the problem right now. While we keep losing to the Chiefs, we get away from the running game. Dance with the person that brought you. Don't change horses midstream.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan. He's great getting there. Hey, they may be the Bills. It's been 3, right? 3.
Yeah, it's been 3 so far. Yeah,
under Shanahan, been 2 or 2.
The Chiefs got our number, man. We cannot get past the Chiefs, man, because he keeps getting away from the running game. My wife looking at me like I'm losing my mind when I'm screaming at the team. I'm like, why are you not running the ball? But anyway.
Sometimes it's the X's and O's. Sometimes it's the Willies and the Joes.
Hey.
Yeah. All right, Doc. You want to answer the question, or
I'm with Mike Irvin about the question. They would have won 2 more Super Bowls. They'd have had a total of 5.
Yeah.
If Jimmy stays,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Jerry said it. Like, there's 100 other guys that can win this. And he brings in Switzer, which is going to get in the next few episodes, and they end up winning. So does that validate his point?
No, Jerry built the team. Jimmy built the team.
Autopilot.
Because thank you, autopilot. Because you already got the cheat codes. They already know what to do. We don't be here. We rookies. We vets, man. We vets.
Yeah. There's been plenty of times that Troy was pissed because they didn't have that. They didn't have that dedication and the focus. But I think they had the talent though. That they
Super Bowl hangover.
Get it done.
Yeah, man. I mean, then you add Prime.
Right.
Hey, Wallace covers 75% of Earth. Prime cover the rest.
Mm-hmm. I had that poster in my game room.
All right, so let's get to some final thoughts. Episodes 1 through 4. We'll do the rest next week. A-Trap, final thoughts on 1 through 4.
1 through 4. Like, as I said at the top of it, excellent commentary, excellent insight, wonderful documentary, and I was utterly surprised. And I salute Jerry Jones for, even when things don't look like it's going your way, you allow yourself to look like a bad guy. Most people won't do that in their documentary. Oh man, I ain't gonna look bad. Jerry said, "I got $1 billion. I can look bad."
Yeah.
What you gonna?
He got FU money, and he at that age where he don't care.
He got FU age and money.
Right. Exactly. Whoops. Final thoughts.
I'm enjoying it. like I said earlier, I'm definitely the guy that likes the history behind what empire was established, what was the foothold that was created. So I'm definitely that person that's like, okay, well then you can get back to that formula. Maybe you have to hand that formula off to somebody else to direct it. But yeah, no, that's why I said it. I'm the kind of and I said it to Ben, I'm the opportunist. Let my 49ers get number 6. Who else? Okay, whoever next. Hey, do you think, baby? Because we might not be back. So I'm one of those guys where it's just like, man, I'd love to see like I said, I'd love to see the Cowboys return back to that prominence, because growing up with them, even though I wasn't on, in that arena of fans, but I respected the game. I respected what they were doing. I respected what they were trying to build. Yeah. So, it's almost like you line up against your adversary, and it's like, I may not like you, but I respect what you're bringing. You're going to push me, I'm going to push you. So, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I'm loving it. I think it's great. I'm definitely.
For me, man, this is Last Dance-esque right here. Last Dance gave you Into the Mind of Jordan, which you really didn't get. As a kid, we didn't know what pushed him. We knew he was just great.
Yeah, exactly.
That really gave us the inside. This is really giving us, behind the scenes, some things, Dark, I know you knew quite a bit of it, but some things I didn't know, and backstories. We had one clip we didn't play that was on Michael Irvin's kind of backstory, which I thought was interesting, because his dad was a Cowboys fan, and one day he said, we could go to a game one day. His dad ended up passing away, so I'm looking forward to the next 5 through 8. I know Deion about to kill it. I know you really about to take over the next, the rest of this, and seeing who else is going to be interviewed. So, yeah, it's been great so far, Doc.
Yeah, even though I had seen a lot and was a part of a lot of the things that have taken place in the documentary, I think the presentation of it all is top notch, and my wife echoed the sentiment that I had mentally, and she goes, I'm not even like that knowledgeable about football, and I can't turn away, because it's just a good story.
Right.
It just so happens to be about football, but it is just a good life story. It is a soap opera. Yeah. It is a, novel. There's twists, there's turns, there's, the movie you could make with this material, it's just, they've done a fantastic job of presenting it. So I think it's top notch. And if we were giving Mike ratings, I would be giving a 5 right now.
Oh yeah. Easy.
Right. Easy. Oh, easy. Yeah. My wife, she watches football with me when, time after time. But she would probably even enjoy this, because it's just one of those things where it's like, it's pretty damn intriguing. Like, and it's done very well. And like you said, I remember this stuff as a kid growing up. It's like, you heard the echoes of Jerry and the teams and the fallouts and the interviews and the Dale Hansen and Barry Switzer going back and forth. It's one of those things where,
And the A-Trap's point, Jerry Jones being as transparent and open with the fact that sometimes I'm the bad guy. Just wait to 5 through 8.
Oh yes,
and how open Michael Irvin is about the White House and some of the shit they were.
I'm looking forward to that.
I heard the producers of this, the guys who put this together, get interviewed, and they said when we got to start talking about the White House, everybody's like, "Man, I ain't commenting on that. Man, I ain't saying nothing.
I ain't got nothing
to say on that." And they said when we asked Michael, he goes, "Ooh, wait till I tell you." And he said he started giving us everything.
Mike, and he's not gonna hold back.
Yeah.
But and my wife was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to just go ahead and watch episode 5." And I'm like, "Nah, hold on. We're only doing 1 through 4. I'm not trying to go too far."
I watched it already.
I watched the whole thing. Yeah,
we watched 1 episode every night last week, and she is not that type to even want to watch something like that. So that tells you that it's got reach.
It's a good story.
Yeah, it's got reach.
It is.
All right. So we'll be back next week. What's coming up? What happened on End of the Bench today?
Let's talk about a cousin of mine commented on issues in regards to the present regime at the White House, and they are attempting to amend the Section 8 rules. And she was like, that's what they need to do. And I was like, everybody, you know, basically, she was like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all that. And I was like, nah, well, she's like, only the strong survive. And today's show was about the strong shouldn't just survive. They should lead. They should inspire. So that's what I talked about today. The strong inspiring instead of just beating yourself on the chest. I'm the king of the hill.
Yeah.
You should be the person that point at people and say, hey, I was like, you know, Moses was an inspiration. He was strong, you know.
Yeah.
Sojourner Truth strong. Tubman strong. Douglas strong. They didn't just free and emancipate themselves. They emancipated others with their personalities and uplifted.
And
So,
even in their weakness and their disability, you know, they still led. So make sure to subscribe. The End of the Bench Media, also the new page, the End of the Bench Entertainment, and then coming up tomorrow on Queen 3 and King, Hot Girl Summer Series continues. Married with Single Friends. Shout out to the ladies doing an amazing job. Anything you want to add on that stuff?
No, that's it. Just make sure you tune in. They're doing a fantastic job, you know, covering these issues. If you hadn't checked them out, go back and watch them. Talking about, you know, the angry female, talking about
why you so mad?
Yeah, why are you so mad? Why you can't apologize? Submission, you know,
the pride of women.
Yeah, their pride. So yeah, go back and take a look. Very interesting.
Yeah, and you definitely got to watch it because my wife was on there. So.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? And if it ain't no other reason. All right. Go ahead and close this out, A-Trump.
Man, thank y'all for tapping in. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and continue to support the programs. Continue to support BS3, the End of the Bench Media. Thank you. 2 fingers, 1 word. We are out.